Ferrari is gearing up to introduce significant enhancements to their vehicle after a disappointing start to the 2025 season. They've revamped nearly the entire car, transitioning from the SF24 to the SF25, but these changes haven't brought the desired results. However, insights from Hamilton, Leclerc and Vasseur reveal that the team still aims to clinch victories and compete for the championship this year. To achieve this, they are expediting key upgrades for the Canada race. So, what modifications is Ferrari planning for Canada and later for Austria? The Spanish Grand Prix was anticipated as a pivotal moment for Ferrari's comeback in the 2025 Formula One season. Although the event saw Ferrari climb back to second in the Constructors' Championship, this was more due to the failings of their competitors than any major progress they made themselves. The team kicked off the 2025 season with a completely overhauled car, hoping to be competitive at the forefront with greater potential for development. In the opening rounds of the championship, Ferrari seems to have swapped out the few strengths of last year's car for new challenges. In an interview with La Stampa, Frédéric Vasseur described the SF25 as quite a touchy vehicle. He explained that while its race pace is competitive, the real issue lies with qualifying. The car struggles more during qualifying than in races, which is even more obvious than it was last year. Vasseur mentioned that it's a challenge to get the car into the perfect condition for the tyres to perform optimally. At Imola and Miami, this peculiar trait was on full display, where they actually turned in faster laps on old tyres, something unheard of for him. The main issues with the SF25 are well known: a mechanical setup that prevents the use of ride heights that were part of the original design, and a design concept that allows for very little flexibility in adjustments. Ferrari's hopes for the 2025 championship have hit a major roadblock, but the team's dedicated engineers and technicians are on the case. They've been working tirelessly to fix the issues plaguing the SF25 model. Upcoming races in Canada and Austria are going to be crucial, as Ferrari is set to debut some exciting changes. Fans should watch closely as the team unveils new designs for the side pods and engine cover, introduces a fresh underfloor specification, and modifies the rear suspension geometry. The car's rear corner will also see significant updates. For the past month, the focus has been on a major suspension upgrade. While Ferrari initially planned to introduce this over the next few races, insider reports suggest they're accelerating the timeline, aiming to launch the improvements in Canada instead of Australia. This update, among other enhancements, is vital for unleashing the SF25's hidden potential. The rear suspension overhaul is especially crucial. It aims to correct serious handling issues caused by the car's sluggish rear end, which has so far held back its true performance. Of the top four racing teams, Ferrari is the only one still using a pull rod system for the rear suspension, while rivals McLaren, Mercedes and Red Bull have all switched to push rods. For the SF25, Ferrari did make a shift from push rods to pull rods in the front suspension, but the expected performance gains haven't materialised. The main problems stem from the lazy rear end of the car. In response, Ferrari has been consistently pushing forward with chassis development, making internal components like the gearbox and casing smaller every year, hoping to optimise the car's aerodynamics and suspension kinematics. Ferrari is planning a major upgrade to their suspension system, as reported by Formula Uno. They intend to adjust the suspension wishbone connections by at least 20mm, while also refining the wishbone's aerodynamic design. The SF25's existing rear suspension is engineered for smooth operation, but this can cause the undercarriage to overexert, leading to noticeable bottoming out and significant wear on the plank. This setup also creates an issue when braking, as it lifts and reduces downforce, making drivers like Leclerc and Hamilton struggle. The revamped suspension is expected to make the system stiffer and counteract the lift during braking. By repositioning the linkages, the new design should boost the car's rigidity and reduce excessive plank wear even when the car is driven closer to the ground. This change should enhance the stability of the SF25's rear end and provide drivers with the confidence to brake harder and later. Alongside the suspension improvements, Ferrari is also modifying the rear section of the car, focusing on the brake ducts and cooling system. When compared to the McLaren MCL39, Ferrari's SF25 seems to have trouble maintaining the ideal temperature for the rear tyres, impacting performance during qualifying and races. Keeping tyre temperatures in check is crucial, especially when the car carries more fuel, as it affects how quickly the tyres degrade. Ferrari is reportedly planning significant upgrades, completely overhauling the rear brake systems to improve cooling and significantly reduce tyre wear, which should boost both race speed and qualifying performance. In addition to this, they are introducing an updated underfloor, modified side pods, and new engine cover specifications. The underfloor changes involve a major redesign of the tunnels and the diffuser to create steady downforce with minimal loss, thereby benefiting from the improved movement in the rear suspension. The edge of the floor will be adjusted for a stronger seal, while slight modifications will be made to the floor fence to complement the altered airflow from the updated front wing. Ferrari is also looking into redesigning the side pods and engine cover to fit the new rear suspension and underfloor changes. It remains unclear exactly how much these elements will be altered, but these upgrades are expected to debut at the earliest in Austria, with Silverstone being a more likely venue. When asked about these changes in Spain, Lewis Hamilton, the seven-time world champion, noted intriguingly that Ferrari is focusing on building a strong foundation to carry insights into the next season. I'm not entirely sure what's in store for our next upgrades, but it's been quite a while since we've seen any. For now, we'll continue optimizing our current setup. Soon enough, though, my attention will shift towards preparing for the next year. This year is all about laying the groundwork, mastering our tools, refining our structure and processes, so that when the new season arrives, we'll have the car we truly desire. Last year showed us that the impossible can be achieved, but looking at the current standings, with us trailing nearly 100 points in the Drivers' Championship and almost 200 in the Constructors, a dramatic turnaround seems unlikely, even with 15 races left. Plus, there's always the chance that our aerodynamic updates might not have the impact we're hoping for. Remember, Ferrari has stumbled before, notably with their mid-season changes last year. The latest enhancements highlight just how challenging it will be to catch up with McLaren. The team from Woking doesn't plan on slowing down either. Andrea Stella's outfit has updates in the pipeline, and they rarely falter. When Frederic Vasseur was asked why his team is pouring resources into this upgrade package, he shed light on their development strategy, hinting at the possibility of a tight race leading up to the 2026 regulation changes. We're focusing on every aspect of the car, especially the mechanical side, because improvements here can boost our performance throughout the season, he explained. It's no secret to us or anyone else that eventually we'll have to shift our focus to 2026. However, we're not just focused on suspension, we're examining every opportunity to enhance our performance. The SF25 remains tricky to get into its optimal operating range, particularly struggling during qualifying. With all these enhancements lined up for the upcoming 2 races, what are your thoughts? Is it possible for Ferrari to narrow the gap between the SF25 and the McLaren MCL39 with its latest major upgrade and compete for victories on the track?